Kosher MGTOW. Welcome back, everyone. Expectations versus reality. I wanted to bring up this issue for several reasons. Because many of us are brought up through life from the time that we're small to the time that we get to our current age, where we have this idealistic version of what we think our life is supposed to be about, and very specifically how things are going to happen as far as how our family will be and how we will obtain a wealth of knowledge and information through education, and how we'll interact with other friends, and with other close ones, and also deal with different situations as they arise, and also deal with different topics of areas of interest relating to finances, to entertainment, to values, to morals, to the women we spend time with, to the women we surround ourselves with, to the other men in our lives, to the children, to the senior citizens, to all levels in between. Specifically, in this expectations versus reality perspective, I want to throw in some nuggets just about myself and how I arrived at the conclusions that I have, and maybe that alone will, draw some perspective for you to try to conjure up some feelings and thoughts in your direction. So, my upbringing, people have this version of what they think family is all about. So, you think that when you're in a family that, it has some level of size to it. And when I say size, I mean, you have your immediate family, but you have a family that extends beyond that. That's, includes, aunts, uncles, cousins, uh, grandparents, great grandparents, nieces, nephews, children, grandchildren, etc. So, depending upon what stage of life you're in, you have this version of what family is all about, and depending upon your upbringing, you might have your own version of what you think a good family is supposed to be. You have this expectation of what your family is supposed to be like. That, people get along with each other, they support one another, they give each other advice, they're good natured, they're decent people that you can count on, that have your back, you can, rely on them. There isn't any bickering or backstage anything that goes along with it. In terms of family, you can get together in big groups and you can have a decent time. You can have good conversations. You can share a wealth of knowledge. You could get excellent advice. You can try to put things into perspective. You can be motivated by the conversations that you have, and then you can take yourself forward, and you can really think positively about and have a different outlook on things once you are surrounded by like-minded people that share that blood, share that relative area, that share those different things and those values and those morals and those principles, and that they all have each other's backs. Family expectations, can drive you in such a way that it is the single most important part and aspect of your existence. And, you want to honor thy father and thy mother, and you want to do certain things the right way. And you want to lead people, in a good way and be a contributing member of society. And that aspect of family grounds you and puts you in the right place. So that way, you're not as likely to act out. You're not as likely to be animalistic. You're not as likely to do, things that are bad to other people, or, be sharp and, confrontational. You're more on stable ground, and you're more likely to make decisions that affect the people around you and yourself in a good light. And that would also go into bounds of having a family of your own and having your own children and being able to instill those same values and principles that you learned as a child. Whether it was learned through your family or through Hebrew school or through different areas of junctures of different places. You take each and every one of these nuggets and they build upon themselves. And the more you spend time with your children and with the people, that your loved ones, that's time that's precious, no matter how you look at it. My experience was different. Again, expectations versus reality. Lord is laughing. I throw in those words, Lord is laughing, and I don't really want people to think that, when I say Lord is laughing, that this is the Lord's way of, tearing you to shreds or making you, you know, feel feel inferior because you dropped something or you did something clumsy or you said the wrong thing at the wrong time or you're surrounded by your enemies and you have no way out and the Lord is laughing because the Lord puts you in a situation where it's almost at a point where you can't win. um, so why would I throw in that nugget, the Lord is laughing? Well, again, expectations versus reality. You start as a young person and then you slowly discover certain things about yourself and where you came from and who was raising you and how. So my personal experience is different than some others that are Jewish that have large extended families that all get along. Unfortunately, my upbringing was quite different. It's not that I didn't have two loving parents. I did. I did not have an extended family that I could count on or even talk to, primarily because my parents were uh, pretty much demanding that I have nothing to do with them at all whatsoever. They had their own opinions about people in the family that were uh, not good moral people. They did bad things. They would steal from one another. Money would come up missing. And they didn't want me to associate myself with any of these other members of the family who might be considered crazy or might take advantage of other people or throw people under a bus or something like that. So, I mean, besides my immediate family, which I would say extended just past my mother, my father, and my grandfather, I had hardly anything to do with anyone else in my family. It would be a very rare occasion that I would see my grandparents on my mother's side because they lived far, far, far away from me. And as far as my grandparents on my father's side, my grandmother passed probably when I was weeks old. So my grandfather was pretty close uh, in terms of living in the same area, but also I got a chance to see him and bond with him. So essentially, my upbringing was a lot different because, my immediate family was essentially three people. I'm an only child, so that also is another nugget in this whole mess. Because expectation versus reality. Expectation, Jewish family, you would expect size. You would expect a couple to have multiple children. My parents only had me. They weren't successful the first time, and I was the result of their second attempt. What if things were role reversed and I was here and my potential older brother, what if I wasn't here and my potential older brother was the only child? It's a crazy thing to think about, but realistically speaking, expectation versus reality. No brothers, no sisters. On top of that, a family with several issues in regards to trust, several issues in regards to financial issues. I wouldn't say necessarily problems, but there was definitely questions that would surface as far as the justification of those things. But realistically speaking, um, my parents and their relationship was topsy turvy. They never ever got divorced, but there were times where their arguments were pretty crazy. And at any rate, legal problems with my parents in regards to areas of business and different things like that. That also threw a wrench in the system. Um, Having the federal government raid your home isn't exactly fun, and that's a life changing experience. And although I didn't physically see it, I came home and saw the results of it, which was the federal government turning my house and home upside down to the point where me, as a young teen, was wondering, where are my video games? Where are my toys? Where are my personal possessions? Why is everything upside down? What exactly is going on here? And you're thinking to yourself, well, what is the matter here? Why is this happening? Why all of a sudden are people trying to tear down my parents, my grandfather, and why is it that I have friends that are alienating me? And what exactly is happening here? Why is it that I'm considered this outcast? And why is my family telling me I should have nothing to do with anybody? And why are the authorities on my parents' case? And then, as you go through life and you look back at these times and you try to sort things out, expectation versus reality. Family is uh, as important as you make it out to be, but sometimes it's a complete utter catastrophe and a disappointment. There are elements of my parents' personalities that probably have areas of issues that go far and beyond just being people. And when you have parts of your family that have had issues with government and authority and law and stuff like that in the past, that figures in too. So did that was that one of the reasons why I became MGTOW? I don't think so, but that is a massive reason to second guess, who are these people that are raising me? Um, are they the people that they say they are? Do they have a moral compass? Are they good people? What exactly is going on here? Um, so expectations versus reality with family, and this can extend, beyond family. Um, we can talk about body image, and we can talk about um, dating, expectations versus reality. We can talk about living conditions. We can talk about education and where you saw yourself in as far as a career. You know, expectations versus reality, and always there's this wrench that's thrown into the formula. What were to happen if? And you have your own picture of the ideal realistic situation where things work out, and you have this plan in sight, and in your mind in X number of years you're going to be set up, you have these things in place. And then Lord is laughing. The Lord puts different things and patterns and obstacles in your way that prevent you from being a success story, and you have no choice but to stop dead in your tracks and change your perspective and change your level you stand on, and you have to accommodate for all these changes. And I'm not the type of person that likes change, but expectations versus reality, when you have things that where things aren't happening the way you expect them to, and you're constantly disappointed, you're going to have a natural response to it. And that's where Kosher MGTOW also comes in, is the fact that I'm a Jew. I'm going my own way. I know I'm going my own way. And just because some random stranger at a bank says hi, because they know I have a couple of bucks, doesn't mean I'm going to jump at the occasion and want to jump their bones. What do you think? Kosher MGTOW.